Oh man, what's up peeps? Hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to the show. I've been waiting all weekend to share this one with all of you guys because it's probably your biggest story from this past weekend in Valorant Champions. And that's saying a lot because Valorant Champs has been hectic. We're probably going to talk more about that tomorrow because there are so many ongoing issues and some big things and rulings that Riot has to make involving some Brazilian teams out there, also involving a COVID scare. We're going to talk about a different Brazilian story out there, that being Sentinels member Zombs apparently taking on the entire country. And I want to preface today's video by saying, hey, you might feel some type of way. Make sure to leave a comment down below what you guys felt about this one. Feel free to feel however you do about this story. There are certainly two sides because you have a lot of Brazilians very upset by this, and you have the other side of people thinking, okay, maybe this is a joke that's been taken way too seriously. And there are certainly some people in the middle of like, what the frick is going on? How is this actually this dramatic? So I hope you guys all enjoy. And this all started though with a matchup of Sentinels versus Furia, what seemed to be a very momentum based series that Furia had a chance to take, and it all kind of crumbled away after a tech pause, which seemingly, and again, there's so many variables going into this, maybe benefited Sentinels, and Tens actually later clarified why that tech pause apparently happened. But it eventually led to Sentinels taking down Furia. As Tens later on Twitter did explain, also for the tech pause, Riot paused the game because they said that Furia didn't exploit by jumping on top of the C box without updraft. In my opinion, that's not an exploit since it's a skill jump that can be done with any character, so I don't know why they paused for so long. In that case, the split mid box jump would actually be considered an exploit because it uses the same method. Please don't send hate DMs to my teammates for something Riot did. And that right there seems to be a very simple situation. Where things always get out of hands though is when you have some very diehard fan bases, and supposedly some of those fans, some of those viewers, you know, taking this the wrong way and sending some death threats, which I'll say it, and I think it needs to be said, people from both sides do this. Brazil is a very hardcore fan base, but Sentinels are no stranger to being sent death threats, and unfortunately for all esports pros out there and players, they're probably well aware that just about anyone who has a screw loose can send a death threat. So I'm not blaming Brazil in particular for, you know, for doing that, but it probably was done because Furia lost that series to Sentinels, and some people took that tech pause as Sentinels' fault, you know, their wrongdoing. But where it gets really bad and where this kind of continued, and if you know Sentinels, where they love to really rib jokes, is on these kind of moments. Every single time we have gone to LAN, Sentinels have made jokes of some sort or another, whether about Riot, about the LAN, about the food, whatever it might be. And especially in these situations, I would say it's where Sentinels players really dig in. And so Shazam made an extra joke about the tech pause later on. And here's where it gets very hairy. As during a later match, it's actually Shazam randomly tweeting, should have called the tech pause. And Brazil not taking this one very lightly. And Shazam continued saying, I'm just making light of an unfortunate situation. You refuse to accept what actually happened and choose to be upset. These games should bring us together. Have some fun. And then he received a response saying these games should bring us together and proceed to antagonize an entire region. Shazam continues, it's a joke. We can't change the past. Furia got their momentum ruined by a dumb tech pause, and I got a lot of undeserved hate. Both suck. I agree. And they continue, your joke antagonizes an entire region, country, and fuels an already crappy situation. We should be the grown-ups in the room. And here is the tweet that I think a lot of you guys have probably seen. What before they took it off trending, I am talking about nearly 100,000 tweets about Zombs after he says, can't wait to beat your crap region again. And this, folks, this is what sparked an entire war, I would say, on social media and especially Twitter. Sides going at each other for random reasons, talking about death threats and jokes and taking things too far and hating an entire region, or is this banter and whatnot. So many things were talked about. I'm going to give you guys my opinion on the situation, and certainly Brazilian fans will probably disagree with that. What they saw as a joke gone too far, antagonizing an entire region and trash talking an entire region, what many people were calling for punishment of Zombs for doing, I saw as some jokes and banter. You know, NA is crap. We hear that all the time. NA over EU, EU over NA, whatever it might be. What I thought was just banter. Now, did he maybe take it further than I thought he would? Yeah, certainly so. Do I take it as him being racist? No. Do I take it as you know, he deserves punishment from Riot Games for this? No, but my opinion is not always right, and my opinion is not the only one out there in a situation which obviously is very two-sided. We have plenty of people out there who saw it as, that's banter, that's trash talk, take a joke, and flip of that, you have an entire region being very much offended by it. And there were a lot of different opinions out there. So what did you guys think about the situation as Zombs continued to egg it on time and time again? He went back and forth between Brazilian players, Brazilian pros. I mean, there was a lot of responses out there, even flexing his earnings, which Stewie jumped in to give his 2 cents of, you know, desperate times, desperate measures. It was hectic, and it was really hard to keep up with. For me personally, as I point out, a lot of responses. We even had pro players, CSGO Pro Bolts. We had the co-CEO of Furia, Akari, calling for punishment of Zombs. And if you guys do not know, there is a ruling out there around these kind of things. I'm not sure what Valorant or Riot Games wants to enforce or how they would enforce it, or even if this is punishable. But there were plenty of people out there responding with this ruling supposedly being a way that they want him punished. I'm not saying that he should be punished for this, and I don't know what Riot's gonna do because their hands are clearly already so freaking full with the pandemic and COVID and, you know, the Vivo Key situation, and now you have this on top of everything. This has got to be a nightmare for them. I don't know what you do in this situation, but I will say that whenever a situation like this breaks out, whoever people look to, a lot of the time it's going to be someone like Fallen. You know, he's literally called the president in these kind of situations, and he's a guy that people usually look to when there's drama between North America and Brazil. I don't know why he's become the key figure, but he's a great one at that because, yeah, he's certainly, I'm not going to dive into past situations in the CSGO scene. All right, I'm not going to do it right now, but I do look towards him for some sound advice on these situations and kind of being a focal point for where people put their eyes on. As he said, I made my mistakes using social media during the years and tried to grow from it, so I will hope you realize one day that using the platform you are crafting with your work and game to spread things like this is not worth it. We have the chance to influence people positively. You have no idea what it means to be Brazilian and the sacrifices required to be at an international tournament. Give better examples for those who follow you. And even beyond that, you have a lot of serious responses, a lot of joke responses. Hunter shared with me, I think one of the best pro responses out there. You look towards someone like Patty, where this is a guy who just takes everything as a joke. He takes it as banter, and I enjoy that. But I do try to understand the other side of where some people might be offended by this. The real giant question now is, should this be punishable? Did people take this joke too far? Why is this being so dramatized? And Zombs, did he know what he was doing? Yeah, I think when he tweeted all of this stuff, he knew that he was provoking an audience that we have long talked about in esports as being very passionate, sometimes being kind of scary, and we know that they're going to be very boisterous about these kind of issues, and it caused all of us to talk about it. You know, 100,000 tweets about this guy saying your region is complete crap. And so that's where I'm going to leave it for all of you guys to decide what the heck is going on here. I think it was pretty crazy. All eyes are certainly on Zombs and Sentinels and also the Brazilian teams at Valorant Champs. Unfortunately, those who remain at Valorant Champs. And so it's going to be very crazy to see how this one plays out, how Riot does respond. And I think Zombs is going to be public enemy number one for a freaking long time when it comes to Brazil. And if Valorant ever goes to Brazil, we're going to see serious considerations of whether or not Zombs or others will be going. It's crazy. At the end of the day, I hope you guys enjoy. What did you think about it? Let's take it easy. Let's relax. You know, we're all in a great situation where we get to sit back and talk about these things and have a great discussion. So until next time, do me a favor, all right? Drink some water, drink some coffee, cool down, and I'll catch you back here sometime soon. Take care.